Hey guys, what's good? It's your boy Con TDK, Mr. So Real, and in this week's Good or Garbage, we're going to be taking a look at the new weapons, new blueprints, new mods, attachments, all that good stuff that is being sold in the division this week. Now, I know a lot of people have been turned off by this nasty invisibility bug that's been going around, and I have to admit, I can't blame you if you didn't want to play. I'm in the same boat with you there, but we're gonna look at what's going on with Good or Garbage this week. So let's go. Let's see what's up. Starting off this week's Good or Garbage, we're at the special blueprints vendor as usual, checking out what new blueprints they have for sale. Now again, the ACR is back. And yeah, pick it up if you don't have one. ACRs are pretty good. One of my favorite assault rifles, in my opinion. I like them a lot. They're not really the best for PvP, but they do work in PvE, and I really like them. I think they're nice and stable. They handle really well. The classic AK-47 is also on sale. Hard-hitting assault rifle. If you like these, pick them up. The stamina knee pads, firearms glove, vertical grip for optimal range, extended magazine for obvious reasons, magazine size, the electronics gear mod, and the stamina gear mod. If you don't have an extended magazine, as I always say in the Good or Garbage, best pick one up. It's probably one of the best attachments you can get. All right, let's see what other things are going on this week. Now over at the special equipment vendor, we have the Cassidy with the talents of Ferocious, Destructive Boomstick, Pecan with the talents Self-Preserved, Talented, and Pecan. We have the Centurion, which I've been kind of keeping an eye out for the Centurion and the Liberator and the Historian. Until I find a decent role, I'll be keeping a good eye out for these. Now the Centurion for this week, the talent is Adept. Now the problem that we have with this is that the base damage has fallen slightly. Last week it was 30.4, now it is 30.1. The week before it was 29.5, so this is a nice little happy middle. If you like Adept, you may want to pick one of those up. The Liberator has fallen from grace, quite a long fall actually. The good thing about this is that the enemy armor damage is at 24, so if you're running this for, I guess, PvE purposes, it's not too bad, which I guess you would be if it's the Liberator. Now the talents that it has on it is Vicious, Ferocious, and Unforgiving. Unforgiving is nice, but I'm not a huge fan of some of these other talents. They don't work for my build per se, but they may work out for you. The major downfalls to this weapon for this week is that the base damage is substantially lower. Last week's version was 22.3 and the week before was 22.2. Now being at 21.8, it is a hefty fall for base damage. Now the Historian, on the other hand, the base damage is low. It is lower than it has been at 45.2. Last week's was 46.1 and the week before was 47.1. The talents for this week are Harmful, Competent, and History Repeats. If you don't know what makes the Historian so attractive, especially for a firearms build, History Repeats, each bullet embeds itself into the target and detonates 1 second later for 700% of your firearms total. So keep that in mind. It does a pretty hefty amount of damage if your firearms is high. That really depends on if your firearms is high. So if you run a glass cannon with firearms, the Historian can be really nice. Having Competent and Harmful are not too bad. Harmful will add extra bleed, which could be even more damage, and Competent, if you're using your skill, could give you even more damage on top of that. Now again, the problem is the base damage is just low, but the headshot damage is 171%. That is pretty high. That is pretty much as high as you can get. I believe maybe the highest is 172. But yeah, 171, it's up there. This is nothing to scoff at. So if you are good at hitting your headshots, that could be some really good damage for you. I may pick this up. I'm kind of on the fence about this because I don't have the role for Competent. If I can manage to get that, or maybe change some things around, I might think about it. But yeah, definitely if you're a sniper looking for a Historian, this week's one might be a pretty good one to think about. Now the rest of the weapons that they have this week, I'm not really all that impressed with. The tactical AUG has some pretty good base damage at 21.6. The G36, 24. I think they get a little bit better than that. But yeah, the rest of this stuff, there's really nothing amazing. The Black Market M60 has some pretty nice talent rolls. It's got Swift, Sustained, and Talented, and it has 14% damage to targets out of cover. The base damage, I think, could be a little bit higher, but I might be wrong about that. I'm not really sure about the M36's base model. The rest of this stuff, I'm really not a huge fan of. If you're looking for a mask, the Predator's Mark mask and the Firecrest mask are not too bad in terms of their stamina stat rolls, but the armor on both of them is a little bit lacking. You get over 1,000 armor on these, so just have a little buyer beware on that. The rest of these, I would say, take a good look at. The Century Skull harness actually has a pretty nice health roll at 16,118. The maximum 4 chest pieces in terms of their health roll is 16,674. So it's not too far off from the max, about 500 or so. The rest of this stuff, again, not a huge fan of. None of this really excites me to the point of where I say it's a must buy and that you guys really need to go out and buy it. I'm scrolling through this so you guys can take a look at it and see what's going on, just in case you don't want to fire up the game. You can pause it. The extended magazine is not too bad, especially if you're going for a fast reload to get faster engagements for PvP. But you can get that extended magazine blueprint. And I got an invite from Purdy. What up, Purdy? Shout out to him for my homie Purdy. But the extended magazine is not too bad. We've got faster reload speeds, crit hit chance, and a okay magazine size. So not too amazing stuff that's going on this week. The only thing that's somewhatly interesting to me would be that Historian. I really want a good Liberator, but guess we got to hold out. Let's see what other things are going on this week, and hopefully we'll find something good. Up at the advanced weaponry vendor, we have the snub-nosed Rhino with Sustained, converted SMG-9 with Vicious, Adept, and Skilled, the military P416 with Skilled, Sustained, Accurate, Marine Super 90 with Brutal, Ferocious, and Unforgiving. Not too bad if you can hit Brutal on your headshots with the Shoddy. Ferocious is a bit this is a PvE weapon if there ever was one. A classic M1A with Determined, Brutal, and Fierce. Brutal and Fierce on this gun would be really nice. Wish that was downstairs on the Historian, but hey, it is what it is. The headshot damage on this is quite low. The base damage is at 61.2. The M249B base damage is kind of not all that great. We've got Determined, Skilled, and Competent. Competent is nice to have, but if you like this kind of LMG. High velocity magazine, I would pass personally. The flash hider, not that great. Vertical grip, optimal range as its major attribute, not a good one. I'd go for a pass. This 12 times scope at 18.5 headshot damage is very nice. Critical hit damage at 4%, plus optimal range at 5. Optimal range I wish was something else, but this isn't a bad scope. If you don't have a good headshot damage scope, this might be one to pick up. You can also put these on assault rifles if you're going for headshot damage, so keep that in mind. Not a bad one. Keep that on your plate. Let's see what other stuff is going on this week. All right, in the base of operations, the weapons vendor actually has why am I getting invites? Jesus Christ. All right, we'll just wait. We'll just wait. I have to turn this shit off. Oh man, these people, I swear to God. Everybody wants to play this game now. Alright. Special weapon vendor, here we go. In the base of operations, the special weapons vendor has an AUG A3 Para with pretty decent base damage of 22.2 with this character, 22.5 critical hit chance. It's got Swift, he's got Brutal, and it's got Vicious on it. Not a bad pickup. Vicious gives you crit hit chance increased by 10%. If you don't want Brutal and you want to roll Deadly onto it, you are very welcome to do so. Swift, I think, is pretty good talent to have, giving you a faster reload speed. You can deck this out how you want. This is a pretty decent weapon. And the other thing is that he's also selling a small grip with 16% critical hit damage, stability, and more reload speed. So you can have even faster reloads. And if you get into one of those PvP engagements where you and your opponent are reloading and in the middle of it, you'll have a faster reload and probably be able to finish him off quicker. Just as a side note, something to keep in mind if you're running an SMG. All right, let's see what other things are going on this week. Over in the cavern, just for people who are looking for something very specific, we have a prototype stamina mod with 265 stamina and 2,964 skill power. This is for people who are running skill power and toughness. So if you need something like this, go over to the cavern and check it out. Over in the meat locker for you AK lovers, we got a pretty nice AK-47, with some pretty nice base damage at 27.4. Enemy armor damage is a bit low at 18, but it's got capable, swift, and competent. Competent in that third slot means that you don't have to spend so much on electronics. Swift giving you that faster reload speed so that you can put them down with that high base damage. And capable, you may want to get rid of that, but that's okay. You can put whatever you want on that and get to rocking. This might be a pretty nice weapon to see in PvP. If you're looking for that AK, there you go. All right, let's see what else is up. All right, guys, so over in the Firewall, just because I gave, oh, Jesus Christ, look at all these dudes over here. Okay, so anyway, just because I gave a shout out to the mod a second ago for electronics and stamina, I wanted to give a shout out to this firearms mod. It's got 261 firearms, a little bit under 3,000 health. And I figured if you're looking for something like that with some firearms and a bit of a health on top of it, and you don't have anything better, then it would be good to kind of give this a shout out. This is in no means a god roll. It's just a nice mod for people who don't have the luckiest of luck. And if you want to stock up on these with regular credits, then there you go. All right, let's see what else is going on this week. Now going over to Park Avenue, there's quite a few things going on, so let's get right into this. And I'm going to show you some goodies. All right, so first starting off, we have the 93R. I usually don't talk about pistols, but 12.2 base damage, and the talent it has is bleed. The one that does bleed. So I know a lot of people in PvP like to use harmful and put bleed onto their opponents, so this is a good little number to have. The RPM is nice and fast. The base damage is alright, so you may want to think about picking that up. Now moving right along, we have a couple other assault rifles. Not really too geeked about them, but we got a black market sausage with self-preserve, brutal, and predatory. So this is pretty much a nice little, I guess, vampire build shotgun. If you wanted to use this, predatory is going to give you some health back off of critical hits. Predatory is going to give you the health back once you get the kill, and brutal, if you need brutal, then go for it. Now with the first wave M1A, long time no see. A lot of people like to have these, but they don't come around very often. The talents on them, quite honestly, aren't really that great. Balanced is now a thing of the past. This also has harmful on it for bleed if that's something you like. And then we have a black market M60 if you're looking for that kind of a machine gun. This also has self-preserved on it, but that's kind of up to you guys if that's something that you want. Definitely I would recommend you look at the sausage, because yeah, if you're running it with Nomad, it could work out really well to get your health up and keep it up there. All right, so let's see what other things are going on this week, and don't forget that pistol. All right, guys, over in East 53rd Street, just as a quick little shout out to the people who trying to do max crit damage, we got a nice little small group with 19% critical hit damage. So if you guys are looking to put that onto your SMGs, or even if you're running it on something else, then there you go, 19% critical hit damage. Just wanted to throw that out for y'all who are looking for it. So yeah, that's it. There we go. Let's see what else is up. Okay guys, over in East 34th Street, we got a pretty interesting little extended magazine. Just thought I'd throw it out there. It's got 110.5 magazine size, got 4.5% reload speed and 4% critical hit chance. Now this is an interesting little thing. I know that a lot of people like to go for rate of fire, and I think rate of fire is very good if you could get it. But if you can't and you want to do something a little bit more with your reloads, then this could be something that works out for you, especially if you have a faster firing assault rifle. And having a even faster fire rate may not be as stable or something that you can handle. And if that is the case, then maybe a faster reload could be exactly what you're looking for. So thought I'd just throw that out there just for the people who are looking for something similar to this. And if you don't need it, then hey, that's all good too. All right, let's see what else is going on this week. Now moving right along into DZ3, looking at some of the weapons, scrolling down past the Rhino and this PP19, we get into the main attraction, which is this LVOAC with a base damage of 23.2. Now remember, the highest base damage you can get is 23.5 with my character. Yours will probably be different. It's got a pretty nice amount of enemy armor damage as well. Now the talents we have are Unforgiving, Swift, and Destructive. So Destructive will eat through that enemy armor for PvE. We have Swift giving you that faster reload speed for whatever. And then Unforgiving, if you can get it to rock, giving you that extra damage as you begin to lose health. Now with the base damage being as high as it is and the enemy armor damage being what it is, if you don't have an LVOAC, you may want to get up to DZ3 and go check it out. Alright guys, up in DZ6, we're going to step a little bit outside the box here, and I'm going to talk about this Lone Star Max. And you're probably saying, Con, what the hell are you doing talking about a damn Lone Star Max? Well, just give me a second. Alright, so looking at the Max, it's got a 991 armor on it, which is not bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty up there. And then it has 1274 electronics. Now it doesn't have an electronics roll. It's got all resist on it, and it's got increased kill XP, which, you know, it could be a little bit better. But when you start to factor in that this could be really good for a light machine gun user, especially one that's doing a lot of support stuff with the electronics, then this could work out really well. When you think about Lone Star has 2-piece bonus of 100% ammo. Then you have a 3-piece bonus of 8% damage on top of the LMG and shotgun. Then when you have the 4-piece, you're talking about not having to reload. You just swap out your weapons and then you dump it in there. Now with that being said, if you have, like, let's say a flyer turret or a shock turret or putting your heels down, if you're doing some kind of incursion type stuff, this could be a really good thing to have on your team when you're talking about a support role. 1270 is nothing to scoff at, along with the bonus perks that go along with LMG users, and with an LMG that maybe has competent on it to give you even more electronic skill usage, this could be something really good. Now I know this isn't for everyone, but I just wanted to throw it out there so that if you are interested and you are running something like that, there you go, that mask might be just what you need. Alright, now moving on over to DZ8, looking at the vendor. That mask before didn't float your boat, and we got a Spec Ops Max that's got 999 armor on the top of it. And the thing about it is it's got 1268 firearms, so if you need something for firearms, it's great. And the talent on it will give you 30% more healing on top of your base heal when you are in your last segment. So, you know, if you need a little bit more heals and your heals aren't really working out, then that could be what's good for you. It has an attribute to give you some exotic damage resilience. And, you know, that's pretty good when you start thinking about the shock turrets and flame turrets and all that other stuff that goes on. Having some exotic damage resilience is not a bad idea. So if you're looking for, I know a lot of people are looking for these types of masks to give you some extra healing. So if you need something like this, then go ahead and go cop that. It is in DZ8. All right. Alright guys, that is it for this week's Good or Garbage. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode 51. Man, we over the 50 episode hump. We actually been over it. Those 2 weeks that I had stuff up on Twitch, I think those count. But hey, it is what it is. On YouTube, it's episode 51, so we're gonna roll with it. Thank you guys so much for answering the question for last week about if I should continue even doing this series. I know a lot of people aren't really playing the Division, and with that invisibility bug going out this week, man, I was turned off. I'm not even gonna bullshit you. I didn't play the game at all. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of these glitches. I'm tired of these bugs. I'm tired of everything that's going wrong with this game. I'm gonna play something else. I'm gonna play me some Titanfall 2. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, man, I had a lot of fun playing some Titanfall, man. So you know, always remember that you can hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Twitch. Instagram also works, and remember, you can also go over to the Facebook page where a whole bunch of homies get out there and we talk about all kinds of things related to games and gaming. Shout outs to G Junior X Junior for holding it down for so long. He looks like he's going to be taking a little bit of a break because he's got some internet issues. But hope to see you guys in the next week. And shout outs to Junior. Peace.